Hello, one viewer, or two viewers. Hey, wait a couple more minutes before I get started. There is a back channel if you guys want to add yourselves to it so we can actually chat. I will come back on in about 2 minutes and we'll start no matter how many people we have. All right, cool, thanks. Hello, I know there's only 2 of us in here, but I'm going to already start going ahead and maybe I will join us later. I have the question and answers turned on if you want to ask some questions. I also have a back channel, I'll show you just a minute. So, let's do this. All right, so this is Be an Education Time Lord with Google Drive, and I'm Ashley Steele. And I will start the presentation with important information of who am I. And let me double check and make sure you guys can hear me. I'm going to stop for just a second and turn my volume up because I talked about last time. 1 second. Sorry about that, y'all. Thank you for your patience. Hopefully that should be louder and you'll be able to hear me. All right. Double check the back channel in case you have any questions before I keep going any further. And this is our back channel. Is the audio any better? I know I had an issue earlier and it was kind of fuzzy, and hopefully that turning it up helps. Let me know. This is our back channel. This is todaysmeet.com/edtimelord. If you want to talk to us, please add yourself so we can chat back and forth. I don't really like the question and answer format because unfortunately it never updates fast enough. So if you want to add yourself to this, please do, we can chat. So this is going to be a little bit different presentation. It's really about collaboration and you guys working with me. And hopefully if I get more viewers, you guys can help us. We can work as a team on this. So back to the presentation. All right. Sorry, guys. I am Ashley Steele. I am a 7th grade science teacher. I've been teaching science for 4 years at Lake Highlands Junior High. Hold on 1 second. I just realized I'm still videoing. I know I'm pretty, but don't look at me. Much better. All right. So I've been a teacher at Lake Highlands Junior High in Dallas, Texas for 4 years. I teach 7th grade science. I'm also our lead teacher, and I also am lucky enough to be a Google guide for just an independent school district, which means that I get to go around and spread the gospel of Google to classes and teachers and people all across my district and pretty much anywhere I can, which is what brings me here today. I'm obsessed with all things Google, and I've totally drank the Kool-Aid. So I'm here to talk to you about how to use Google Drive to collaborate and become an education time lord. If you want to connect with me and contact me, I would love to be your friend on Twitter, to talk to you via Google+, any of those things. My email is teacherofsteel@gmail.com. My Twitter is @MissCoachSteele. And I have a website, which is teacherofsteel.com, but it's not quite there yet, so keep your eye open. They'll start popping up later. Double check the back to see if I got any comments and make sure my audio is better. Yay! What's better now? No audio. Okay, back and better. Good, thank you. I'm going to keep switching back and forth here, so if you have any major pressing questions or things you want to share, let me know. Actually, I might pop it up on my iPad so I can read both of them at the same time. Ooh, multitasking. All right. So, I talk really quickly. If I say anything and you think you catch what I'm saying, but you're confused, please just drop me a line and let me know on the today's meet, and I will go back and re-say it. I promise I'm not offended. 1 second, my dears. That's not my iPad. New technology. All right. Here's the information. If you just joined us, we have a back channel chat at todaysmeet.com/edtimelord. I'm adding myself to it right now, again on my other device. So let me know if you have any questions on it. I don't foresee this being a very, very long presentation. I've got the basics I want to go through, but I'm really going to kind of rely on you guys to let me know what you think and what you've done with your experience and to chat. This is totally collaborative. I'm more of a facilitator on this one than I am a presenter. Please hold for 1 moment. All right. Yay! All right, I'm in now on my iPad. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, so here's an overview of what I'd like to discuss tonight with you guys. Feel free to add anything you'd like to talk about. Let me know if you have any experiences you'd like to talk about, anything that you want to know more about. Just, like I said, send a message on the Today's Meet and let me know and we can talk about it. I'm totally up for almost anything. But things I'd like to talk about or I want to go over is basics of Google Drive. So what is it? What is a Time Lord and how do I become one? And then, of course, wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff, which is just my way of saying, of course, Dr. Who's way of saying, let's connect. Okay, so what is Google Drive? I'm sure some of you guys have probably used it before and you're probably familiar, but just in case there's anybody who might be watching this later or coming in right now who've never used it before, I want to give you guys a brief overview of what it is and what you can do with it. So I am a Google Drive addict. As you notice right now on the screen, I am currently using it to present. I use Google Drive for everything. So, pardon me. When you open up Google Drive, when you go to drive.google.com, you sign in with your account. I have 3 different accounts. I have one that I use for school. I actually have a Google Apps for Education account that my district uses. Oops, sorry, checking our today's meet, making sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so this is what Google Drive looks like when you sign into it. This is the basic part of your storage container. You have the option when you come in here to click the new button and make different things. You can make a document, which is basically like if you're comparing it to Word, it's like a Word document. You can make a Google Sheet, which is like an Excel spreadsheet. You can make a Google Slide, which is like a Microsoft PowerPoint, but it's what I'm presenting in currently. And then you have other options you can add on or that already come with it. One of my absolute favorites is Google Forms. I use it in my classroom constantly. I make quizzes that I can self-grade with an add-on called Flubberoo, which is super awesome and super easy to use. I'm currently basing most of what I teach in my classroom. It's all based in Drive. I do all my presentations and lectures and notes through Drive. My students can access it and access it at home or access it on other devices. I'm lucky and I have a class of tablets, so my kids can actually, we do what's called Choose Your Own Adventure Notes. They'll have 3 different options of how they can take notes, and they can listen to it, a recording of me saying it, and going through it, a screencast. They can go through the actual presentation themselves on their own time, or they can actually sit with me on the floor and go through it together as a team. The Google Drive is a great way that's helped me not just connect with my students, but connect with my teachers in my actual school as well. And I love it. I love the ability to go through and create new things and share easily. So Google Drive is something super simple. I'm not going to go into too much more depth because I have a feeling you guys might know something about it. So I'm just going to show you what I've got, and that's good. Okay, so now, next. Ooh, sorry. All right, so what is a Time Lord and how do I become one? So if you're a Doctor Who fan at all, you understand that Doctor Who is the most famous Time Lord of all time. A Time Lord is somebody who transcends the typical conventions of space and time to connect with people in ways that other people don't know. So Google Drive is one of the best ways I've ever found as a teacher, as an educator, or even as a student to connect with other people at times and places that I may not normally connect with them. So if you think about the analogy to Doctor Who is a time-traveling person who goes back and forth through time and also changes shapes. Google Drive is kind of my way of being a Time Lord because it allows me to connect people in different situations, different places, and at different times. So In addition to connecting with my team, because I, as a team lead for science, I am in charge. I'm multi-department. I'm in charge of doing things like setting up meetings and helping track data and oh gosh, trying to think of other things we do. We do a lot of online PLCs our planning conferences. We do our conferences where we meet together. We take notes in real time on Google Drive. We do a lot of things that involve working real time together on stuff like this. So after using it in my common planning with my team for about a year, I talked with another one of my friends who is a Google guide for our district, or was a Google guide for our district also, and we talked about how we could collaborate not just across our school with our teams or with other teams inside our school, but across campuses. So this is the basis of my idea for how to work on using Google Drive to become a Time Lord. So let me show you what we did. We worked together. She taught 8th grade science. I taught 7th grade science. She had her students and my students work together on a project that was related to both the content we were teaching, but was something that they could share. So we decided we were going to do a rocket ship launch lab together as a team. So basically, pardon me, I'm dying of thirst. Basically, we had her students in 8th grade at the other campus, which is called Forest Meadow. Her students selected the experiment. They went through and figured out what we needed for materials. They basically experiment and lab down to steps that were easy for 7th graders. And they, shared the information with my students. Pardon me one second to get a water break. Okay, better. So the whole goal of this experiment was to see if 7th and 8th grade students, so kids who are 12 to 14 years old, could use a platform like Google Drive to connect and collaborate on one simple, common, same thing. So our students took this project and then they shared it with the students at other campuses. So as it says, the students at Forest Meadow set the experiment first and then shared what they got as the results with our kids. Our kids then took the same exact lab, replicated the steps that were outlined by the students at Forest Meadow, the other campus, and then we collected our own data. The coolest part about us replicating their setup from the other campus was that through Google Drive, my students were able to see pictures of the actual setup of the lab. The other campus took great steps to document via writing, via video, via pictures, each individual step of what they took for the actual lab. It was really cool to see my kids doing the exact same thing as a school who wasn't with them. And we had questions. We would get confused. We'd be looking at a document, that, like a Google Doc, that would have pictures in it explaining the process of the lab. And my students were able to chat if the other students were on in real time with those students and ask them questions. It was so cool. So in addition to being able to chat, we also collected data simultaneously. So we made sure that we were on the exact same time schedule and we performed the experiment the same time, the same day after school. We then went back and changed results or compared results and talked about it, but we were able to go through this in a Google Doc at the same time. It's super cool to watch. So this is an example of what we did. If you notice down in the right-hand corner, you see us chatting with the students, and you notice I'm talking to the student. You see the actual experiment setup that they provided us, that we just input our information in and then talked about. So you notice that here's the information for the other campus, here's the information for our campus, and it was really cool how, this caused a dialogue between the students in ways that we wouldn't have normally seen. The students looked at the information and realized there was a huge discrepancy in our data, and they were like, let's connect with them and let's ask them what's up. So they actually chatted with them, both via chat on here, via email, and via Hangouts on their own account. Actually, I'm sorry, through my account, since our domain on our school doesn't allow students under the age of 13 to do Hangouts. They chatted through they did Hangout through me and the other administrators' Hangouts, and they talked about what was going on. It was super cool to watch them literally go through back and forth and talk about the experiment. So we asked them, both the students who interacted at both campuses, what they thought. And these are just things that they went through and talked about. They really loved it. They really loved that they were able to see the data going in at real time. They loved that they could go through and fix things and help. Also, I really thought it was interesting that a student mentioned that if they were working on an essay through this type of format and they got something wrong, they could have a peer or a teacher or someone who they didn't know help give them information, help fix it. And it's really cool that they mentioned if someone else wanted to put something in it to help, they could do that too. And it was just really cool to see. I'm not going to keep watching, it was too long. So why is this form of sharing information and collaborating so important? Because the students are so engaged. They were so excited to share their information. They were so excited to discuss what was going on. The group of students we had doing this in my campus would run into class every day and ask if their counterparts, or their pen pals, they call each other science pen pals. They asked their science pen pals who wrote them back, and they wanted to know what they'd learned and what had been changed. It was so awesome. This also increased the quality of work. Pardon me. The kids actually focused on this project harder and like put more effort into it, which also led to when they did more labs later in the future, they drew on this as a reference. And they would go back and say, oh, like we did in that lab, we worked with the Forest Meadow kids. The kids, this is a really, really hands-off. My collaborator and I basically just told the kids, here's the information you need, what you can do. They generated their own questions, ideas. They had their own problem solving. They'd ask us for hints and tips, but we wouldn't tell them too much information because we wanted to see how it went. They were so excited to do this. It was a joy to watch them go through this. Not even go through that. These are the critical attributes, or I like to call them things that could possibly go wrong. So, in collaborating, if we're talking about discussing about collaborating with students, having students collaborate with other students, either other campuses, in the same campus, or even across the world, yeah, it's very important to make sure that students understand how to get into their Drive account or have a Drive account, and then know how to actually use the information. We had a hard time pre-teaching our students how to create and share docs, and by the time the end of the year, they were fluent at it. They were making presentations and showing me how to do cool stuff. We also have to determine when we're doing this, how are we going to share this? Like, you have the option in Google Drive to do view all to everyone. Like this presentation I'm going to share with you guys is you are able to view it because it's shared access to everyone. But you have to be careful about teaching your students what they should share and what they shouldn't share. So you can also have permissions set for certain things so they can actually share with anyone they want to, or have it private so they don't have to share with people who you have nothing to share with. What else? Sorry. Oh, another thing I thought was really interesting was we had a hard time determining what parts of the project were created or managed by which teacher, and then like not even just student generated, but we both had a problem with like we weren't sure what our role was going to be. So we really had to work together and talk about, I'll cover this part, you cover that part. What can we do together and make it work? Since doing this project, we did this project 3 years ago. We've come up with different ways to assess. We found other tools like Nearpod or other things that add on to it. Google Forms quizzes with Flutter added into it that help assess it. But there's other options for assessment built into this that we haven't even reached yet. So this is basically the brainchild of starting us off with what we wanted to do, and got me sparked and interested about using Google Drive to collaborate not just with my school and my team, not just with my campuses that are in my same district, but with people across the world. So, I shared you that one already. Yes, I love animated GIFs. So, after I did this project and I presented it in the conference, I got a lot of great questions. I got a lot of people asking me, oh, have you connected with anybody else? I was like, well, I've been looking into it, but I haven't found anything. The longer I looked, I realized there were some resources out there. But until I got into those resources and actually connected to other people, my network was very small. So some of the places, pardon me for that last stop, some of the places I found that are really helpful to connect. My first stop was the Connected Classroom Workshop. I'm going to show you what it looks like. You can tell I'm getting tired. I'm starting to have a hard time talking. Pardon my speech. So this right here is a Google Plus group. and you have to have a Google Plus account to be added to it, but you can also view it if you don't. This account is awesome. This group is full of educators all over the world who are very willing and excited to talk to you and work with you and do other things, like and create things that are based on what you and your students need to do. Through this community, I've met so many different awesome educators across the world. I actually have a partnership with a German educator, and his class, I think they're I'm trying to think, they're the same age range, but I'm not sure their grade level. So I'm assuming they're about 7th graders in the United States educational system. But by putting out a request on here, I was also led to the next resource they shared with me, which was a global sister school project. This is a Google Plus community also, but this one is also a civic reach out for partnering with other schools. So this is where you say, hey, I'm a 7th grade science teacher in Dallas, Texas, and my students are learning about this. Is there any places or any schools or any people across the globe who want to connect with our team and talk? It's so cool to connect with, like, I'm mind blown. I'm trying to think of how to explain this in words. It was so exciting when I kept getting my Google Plus notifications of people who were adding me. I'd be like, oh, people from China, people from Japan, people from Germany, France. I have a group I'm connected with in Israel. It's so cool to connect with these people. But when you connect with this group right here, the Global Sister School Project, they send you a Google form, that you fill out. It's over here. It says Global Sister Project interest form. You fill it out, and then you get the response back. It's really fun to show you the response. These people are all people, and I'm going to go through it really quickly, who are willing to connect with a school or other people in parts of the world and talk about things that relate to their students. If you notice over here, this one right here says, what are you interested in? Sharing projects and curriculum, participating in virtual field trips together, cultural difference discussions, participating in a project or video together, simple video chatting. My students were very excited about the thought of having a pen pal. They were excited about, the most common question I got was, do they do science the same way we do in other countries? And so this got me excited and thinking about doing this with my students and having a connection with other places across the globe. So I'm in the very basic stages of this, and I'm excited to hopefully delve into this more this year and get my students connecting with other people from other countries and sharing those shared experiences, because this works cross curriculum. It's not just a science thing. It's not just a math thing. It's not just a history thing. It goes for every single subject. The experiences we're sharing in this group are universal, and I'm super excited to be a part of it and hopefully get to share more with my constituents in other parts of the globe. So I'm super excited to actually get a chance to use this next year. Let me get back to the presentation. I'm almost done. I was not kidding you. I told you it was quick. Okay, so I would love to connect with you. Hold on a second. I'm filming myself again. Can you tell I'm just learning how to do a hangout? Sorry. All right, back to my presentation. Thank you guys for your patience, all 4 of us. All right, so I would love to connect with you guys. Please email me. I'm on Twitter constantly. I have email. There's a copy of this presentation on tinyurl.com/edtimelord. You can actually go back and look at these slides. You can look at all my resources. And I'm leaving this space meet up for at least a week. So if there's anything that we've talked about in it that you think is interesting or you want to talk about, please come back and see it. I would love if you are in a school somewhere to connect with you and have my students connect with you, and we could figure out a project, or maybe we could work with another class that's in your school. But I would love to connect with more educators outside the world and show my students that these are common things. I mean, I know that Brett just said that the global connections challenge our assumptions. You're so right. I teach in a school that I think 70-something% of my students are low income, free reduced lunch. A lot of the things I discuss in my class for science, my students have never experienced firsthand. Simple basic things like having a garden or going to different parts of geography that we discuss. When we talk about monsoons for our natural disasters unit, how awesome would it be to talk to an actual person who knows where monsoon is firsthand. There are so many ways we can connect with other people across the globe and have it relate back to our classrooms. If you think about it in reality, our classrooms are global anyways. There are not actually walls for classrooms. With the internet and technology, we can reach out to anyone anywhere. It's super exciting. It's super awesome. And I cannot wait to get to connect with you guys and work on this stuff and hopefully do other things. So now, this is the part of my presentation where I'm going to go to today's meet and hopefully we're going to talk back and forth about more stuff because I'm done presenting. If you think of any ideas of what you possibly want to do with this, or maybe tell me a little bit more about what you do and what you teach, I would love to discuss this more. So I'm going to today's meet. So Brett, thank you for talking back and forth with me. I appreciate it. So I love that you said, it's a great validation for your teaching when they see that, yes, that these are universal. It's so surprising. When you have never left your neighborhood, or you've never had an experience outside of your common experience of your area, the little things that they connect is awesome. I mean, I have a friend who lived in India, and he had pictures on his Facebook of monsoon season, and so I showed them that, and they didn't believe it was real. It's so cool, and you're right. It totally builds empathy. It helps students connect to each other in a way that they may not always get. It's so cool. So those of you who are still on here, I think it's probably just be me and Brett. But what do you guys teach? Tell me a little bit about yourselves. What do you teach, and how would you see using this with the curriculum you're teaching? Give you a minute. It's typing for a second. So let me know what you teach and how you think you could use this in your curriculum. Because I would love more ideas. Every time I present this presentation, I just add more and add more and add more. And I would love to have people who have gone through it, or would love to do this with me, and we could build in more of a concrete connection. More. All right, double checking. Oh, thank you. Sweet. Awesome. 4th grade. Do you have a certain subject that you teach? Is there certain content? And where are you based? That's cool. I mean, that might be helpful. What part of the world are you in? I'm going to sneak and see if it's just Brett and I, because if it's not just Brett and I'd love to know where everybody else is from. One second, y'all. Wait, there's 3 of us. So it can't just be us. Awesome. That'd be really cool. So connecting with others in your state to learn about those regions, that'd be great. What state are you in, Brett? If you don't mind me asking. I think my computer unfortunately has a lag. All right. What I'm going to do, I'm going to keep on the today's meet. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the Hangout. But I'm going to keep chatting. If you guys would like to still chat or connect with me, please do. And then back over here and wave my goodbyes. Goodbye, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and listening to my speech. If you'd like to keep talking with us on the today's meet, please do. I'll be on it for a while longer. Please email me, tweet me. I would love to be your connection and your friend and your network. Thank you guys. Have a great night.